my name is Becca. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to focus on the things that I wish I knew or the things that nobody really told me on what to expect during the postpartum period or like the 4th trimester. I've seen a ton of these videos in the past where people just talk about things that they didn't really expect. Nobody really told them to expect it and they just wish that they had known it. So it's not anything to scare anyone, but it's just stuff that if I had been better prepared for, it would have made certain things a lot easier, to be honest. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more mama and baby videos. I also am coming out with a whole doula series regarding just educational style videos on everything from fertility all the way through to postpartum. So be sure to subscribe for that as well. Follow my Instagram down below for more. And I think that's about it. So make sure to comment down below some things that maybe you wish you knew as well, because it is always great to help some other new mothers. But we are going to get into just some things that I really wish I had known going into the 4th trimester. Now, I wrote down 6 different things. The first one on that is the baby blues that kind of happen on like the 3rd or 4th day. I've heard a lot of people say that's kind of their peak on the day that I guess maybe your hormones are really just crashing a lot more that day, or your adrenaline's running out, whatever it is. It's kind of like the 3rd or 4th day where a lot of people just cry a lot and you can't really explain why. Of course, if this stuff lasts, you know, you do look into postpartum depression and stuff. I'm just talking about that specific day of like baby blues, and I actually can recall this day for me and I didn't expect it, but we actually stayed in the hospital longer than we thought we would due to some complications and stuff. So my 3rd day my 3rd day we were still in the hospital, and I just remember all I wanted was to go home. Breastfeeding was really hard, so we had to have a bottle that day because of like the jaundice thing. I mean, looking back, I wish, I mean, we didn't need to do that, but whatever. And then I remember that I just wanted to take a shower, but my husband had gone out with his dad, so nobody was there to watch the baby. I was in pain. It was just a really, really, really hard day that I felt alone, and I felt like I just wanted to be at home because everything would be better, and I wasn't at home, obviously, and that was the day that I just, like, was such a freaking emotional wreck. And I just wish that I had been more prepared for that, because if I was, then I feel like I probably would have handled it better if I would have just known that, like, you know, it all is going to come to like a peak and then it's going to fade slowly away, at least if you don't have postpartum depression, of course. Alright, another thing that I really had wished I would have known or expected, which I guess this isn't for everybody, but for me personally, it was so hard to be able to be mobile. I really wasn't very mobile. I didn't even have a C-section, I just had an episiotomy, and I just had a really hard time being able to get up and move, and it was really hard because they put the baby in a bassinet that's so much taller than the bed. And it would just be so hard to have to pick him up and move him, because getting up and out of bed was so painful, but also sitting in bed was painful. So it was just this thing that I wish I would have kind of maybe been more prepared for, just really needing a lot of help and not being able to get up and really do anything, honestly, for a good, probably like 4-5 days for me personally. It probably would have been easier if I would have like expected that. Another thing I didn't expect, which is kind of funny, but I've heard a lot of people say this because I am in some mother groups on Facebook for like my due date and stuff, and the one that I'm in, everybody is very real. They're awesome mothers in my like August due date group. But one thing that I remember other people saying as well is that you smell bad, at least in the beginning. It's unexpected, but it makes sense. Your hormones are so crazy. You know, your progesterone drops, like I think like the lowest it ever has been after it was like the highest it ever has been. So your hormones are just super crazy and they don't balance out for a little while. It definitely takes a bit for them to start getting back to normal. For some people it takes that entire 4th trimester to really start feeling normal again. It really depends on the person, but I remember that I would just be like, oh my goodness, I'm putting deodorant on yet I feel like I smell so bad. And I mean, I know it's the hormones, but I wish I had expected that because I was like super concerned about that. And then I saw other mothers post the same thing, so I know that it was normal, but like, oh, it was very inconvenient. Another thing I think is really important to tell mothers to potentially expect is that your baby might only sleep in your arms. Especially in that, you know, in that 4th trimester, but especially in the beginning. A lot of people kind of freak out and are like, oh my god, they don't sleep. And like, yeah, so newborns, like, they sleep a lot, but at the same time they wake up a lot. So it's like, you know, they sleep 24/7, they just wake up like every single hour, obviously. But it is very common for newborns to only really want to sleep if they're in someone's arms or if they're on their stomach. And it's just important to remember that, you know, they just spent up to 9 months in your stomach where they were very warm and they had your heartbeat, and you know, that's what they know. So when they come out, it's almost kind of crazy to expect them to go sleep on some hard cold mattress completely by themselves with nothing around them. Like, that is something that is very hard for them. So, you know, if you have a support system, that is the time to really utilize the support system more than ever, of course, whether it's your husband or your wife or a significant other, a parent, a doula, of course, whatever it might be. Utilize them to, you know, hold the baby for a little bit so that you can sleep without holding the baby for a little bit. The last thing I have on here is definitely something that I think is really important, especially for new mothers who haven't been through it before, and that would be that routines and schedules and expectations should be saved until after the 4th trimester, and that means after the first 12 weeks. And I say that because your baby probably isn't going to sleep on a proper schedule. You can't force them to sleep specifically. I mean, they get better as they get older, of course, but as a newborn, you can't force that. They don't know how to self-soothe, so, you know, when they cry, they do need you, and that might be different when they're 6 months old, but when they're a newborn, you gotta pick them up every time, so you're not gonna get them on a perfect sleep schedule. You're not gonna get them on a perfect nap schedule. It's gonna be constantly changing, and any expectations you have regarding that, regarding breastfeeding, or, you know, cleaning your house, or cooking dinner, or, you know, sleeping when the baby sleeps. Like, there's just so many things that you kind of go into expecting a certain thing, and all expectations and routines and schedules, in my opinion, really should be out the window until after the 4th trimester. Now, that doesn't mean like routines isn't like, yes, create a bedtime routine, you know, bath, book, nursing, bed. Of course you do things like that, but having it at a specific time probably isn't honestly going to work out in the very beginning for a lot of people, and it makes it easier when you're able to just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go with the flow. That's kind of what I do, and I still do that a lot of the time, and it makes your life easier by just letting go of those expectations. I lied, I have one more. The last thing I have is that your bleeding may last a while, and it might come and go multiple times. Now, a lot of people know that it can last up to 6 weeks, and it definitely did that for me, but mine actually lasted closer to 8 weeks, and it would fade away to where you think it's completely done, and then it would completely start back up. So the only advice I can really give on that part is to just take it easy, because I would find it definitely would pick up more when I would do more physical activity, or when I would like go out for the day and do something. So, you know, those first at least 6 weeks, let yourself take it easy if you can, for sure, but also expect that if your bleeding picks up and goes away over and over, or if it just lasts that entire 6 weeks, it is totally normal. Especially if you're not breastfeeding, you actually might get your period after the first 6 weeks anyway. So, all right, you guys, so that is it for my what I wish I knew going into the 4th trimester, being a postpartum mother for the first time. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Also check out the one that I did right before this, which was what I wish I knew regarding labor and delivery. That's another one that I think can definitely help some people. Definitely subscribe for more videos. Let me know what you guys want to see here down below. Let me know in both like my doula series I'm doing, what you might be interested in learning, but also what kind of mommy and baby videos you want to see here on my channel. And I will see you guys in my next one.